What do you do when the data tells you one thing, but your intuition, maybe your team, maybe your users are looking into or screaming into a very different thing?
Yeah, I would say in this case, just things. We had maybe an example at Typeform. We tried to do reverse trial, allow your customers to use your full paid product for a limited period of time, like 10 days, 30 days. And I knew deep inside that it was the right to do for the company to get better retention. But at the same time, little experiments we were doing were telling us to stop and not do that because we were destroying a lot of performance for the company. But still, we needed to explore because I think when there is a dissension between your gut feeling and the data, that means that you are onto something that there is, you don't understand fully about your customer, about your product, about how things work. And so you need to continue to explore that space until you actually understand how things work and why there is this dissension between what you think is working and what actually the data is telling you. And for example, at Typeform, what it allowed us to understand is that there were way more people that were using Typeform for one-off, very simple use cases. And so they were willing to pay for 1 month Typeform, and that's why retention was not so good in the first month. And the moment you are giving them a reverse trial for a month or even for 2 weeks, they were doing their use case, and then they were stopping using the tool, so they were not purchasing to begin with. And that's okay. It was not the customers we wanted to engage with in the long term. It's not the customers that will bring long-term retention and sustainable growth. It was a good signal that the way we were acquiring customers was not optimal. We were attracting the wrong people. We need to change the way we think about who are the best customers for Typeform and how do we contact them and attract them through the different channels that we have. When you have these questions, it should not, there's always the possibility to say, I'm right, we choose for it. But I think if you have dissension in your data, instead of spending too much time debating, just build the hypothesis, build the right experiment to bring you the answers and see what these new pieces of data tell you. And then progressively make your belief evolve. And maybe it's your gut feeling that is the best. And maybe it's not. Right? In both cases, I think it's good. If it's your gut feeling, then your product and your customer. And that's great. You build trust. And if it's not, then you evolve your thinking, you evolve your knowledge. And also it's good if sometimes your team is right or wrong, right? Nobody holds universal knowledge. I think you just to try. Another example at Typeform that I always wanted to do is to show the price as a daily price instead of a monthly price, because 29 euros a month is just €1 a day, than the coffee a day. And I think if you advertise your product this way, you get way more conversions. And my team was not ready to it. That's just it. There's nothing to test, and at least you settle your debate faster than if you spend endless time on the whiteboard and try to figure out who is right and who's wrong.